A lot of meets expectations. You know, we had to put them in school because, frankly, they were getting weird. They were starting to say weird things, do weird things. I was like, well, they're just not going to be acceptable. Let's forget them. I mean, it's not, I'm sure there's lots of homeschool kids that are absolutely fine, but their life has been strange. It's been really strange, and it's hard to homeschool in hotels, you know, and they want to be outside, and they go to the most amazing places, and they do the most amazing things, you know, like, they went on Air Force One when Obama was president. They've done shit, crazy shit. They've been to every museum, they've done everything, but it's just not like sticking, you know, like an education. It's like, you know, Tim's kids, Hannah and, or not Hannah, his wife, wait for me, Wilder, my niece and nephew. You know, they do potty talk, they have filthy mouths. Because Tim likes that. That's funny to Tim. So when the kids go spend the night over at Uncle Tim's house, they know they get the permission to be quite naughty. And they come home and ask me if they can say any things they learned at Uncle Tim's house. And I'm like, no. And, you know, Hannah, Tim's wife, she tries to help me out by telling my kids, well, you're not allowed to talk like that, you know. And they had some kind of altercation at one of their sleepovers. And this is how I know my kids are getting weird, because my youngest one, Elijah, she comes back and she goes, yeah, you know, we were saying things like butts, and I'm like, well, we don't say butts. And she's 6. It's still okay to say you don't say butts. And she's like, well, you know what I told them? I said, honestly, when we go to Elton John's house, there are butts everywhere. There are butts on the paintings, there are butts on the statues. Nothing wrong with butts. Butts are fancy. Butts are fancy. She's like, I'm like, you said that to another adult. You're going to school. But they're absolutely amazing, and butts are fancy, by the way. Eventually, my oldest, she just turned 10. Keep them outside? Yes, ma'am. I've been taking her fishing with me on all these fishing trips. She's brutal. She won't let us throw back any of the fish. Because, you know, we watched that show Alone together, you know, and she's like watching these people get to the point of like starving, and then they catch a fish, and they're like, thank God, they're crying. And then we go out on the ocean to like catch a fish, and it's like too small, or we already have too many of that kind of fish, and she's like, Mom, don't throw it back, you have to keep it. And yeah, she's a bit brutal. But yeah, she does better outside than girls do. You're absolutely right. And thank you for the advice. Could have used a lot more advice when I wrote this song. But this is about my girls, my strange girls. Especially my big girl, my greatest teacher.